doing right now, just for a moment, and truly feel something deep inside your heart. You are loved. Not because you are perfect, not because you never make mistakes, and not because you have everything figured out in your life. You are loved simply because you exist, and the one who created you, the one who shaped you with his own hands and breathed life into your lungs, has never once stopped thinking about you. That love is bigger than the ocean, deeper than the deepest valley, and more real than anything you have ever touched or seen. And today, that same love has a very special, very important message that it wants to speak directly into your heart. Before we go any further, I want you to understand something. This is not just a video. This is not just words coming through a screen. What you are hearing right now is a conversation meant specifically to accumulate as much as possible and to protect yourself from as much pain as possible. But that kind of life, no matter how comfortable it looks from the outside, leaves a hollow, aching emptiness on the inside. Because we were not made to live only for ourselves. We were made to love. We were made to give. We were made to be part of something so much bigger than our own little world. When you step outside of your own worries and your own needs, and you genuinely reach out to someone else, something incredible happens inside you. The emptiness starts to fill, the heaviness starts to lift, suddenly shows up right there in the middle of your giving, because that is what you were designed for. So today, I am inviting you to look up from your own struggles, just for a moment, and look out. Your family needs you. Your neighbors need you. The people you work with every single day need you. Not a perfect version of you. Not a version of you that has everything figured out. They just need the real you, the honest and present and caring version of you that shows up and says, I see you, and I am here. That is more powerful than you know. That simple act of genuine human presence and love can change someone's entire world. And it will change yours too. If you are watching this right now, and this message is speaking to your heart, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel so you never miss a message like this one. There are people finding hope, finding healing, and finding their way back to what truly matters through these words. And your support helps make sure this message reaches even more people who desperately. Now let us talk about the fire. Not a fire that destroys, but the kind of fire that refines. Because many of you right now are walking through a season that feels like you are literally standing in the middle of flames. Your finances are shaking. Your relationships are painful. Your body is struggling. Your dreams feel further away than ever. And you are crying out asking why, asking when it will end, asking if God has forgotten about you. I want to look you directly in the eyes right now and tell you with complete certainty, He has not forgotten you, not even for a single second. What feels like abandonment is actually the most intimate, most careful, most loving attention. A goldsmith does not throw gold into a fire to destroy it. He places it there carefully, watches it closely, and stays right beside it the entire time. Because the fire is the only thing that can bring the impurities to the surface, so they can be removed. And the result is something pure and beautiful, and immensely valuable. That is exactly what is happening in your life right now. The difficult season you are in is not punishment. It is preparation. It is not the end of your story. It is the refining process that is making you into exactly who you need to be for the next chapter. And that next chapter is going to be more beautiful than anything you have yet experienced. The tears you are crying right now are not wasted. They are watering something. Something is growing in the dark soil of your pain that will one day become a tree so strong and so full of life that others will come and find shade and shelter in its branches. Your suffering has a purpose. Your pain is not pointless. Keep going. One of the hardest things about going through a difficult season is that it can make us bitter. It can make us hold on to hurt and resentment like a security blanket, even though it is actually slowly poisoning us from the inside. Unforgiveness is one of the heaviest things a human being can carry. It takes up space in your heart, in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. It exhausts you. It keeps you stuck. It prevents you from moving forward into the beautiful things that are waiting for you. And here is the truth about unforgiveness that nobody likes to hear, but everybody needs to understand. Holding on to bitterness does not hurt the person who wronged you. It only hurts you. It is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. So today, right now, in this very moment, I want to invite you to do something that might feel impossible, but is actually the most powerful thing you could ever do for yourself and for your future. I want to invite you to forgive, not because the person who hurt you deserves it, not because what they did was okay, but because you deserve to be free. You deserve to stop carrying that heavy weight. You deserve to walk into your future without the chains of yesterday dragging behind you. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is a decision you make even when every emotion inside you is screaming the opposite. And when you make that choice, something miraculous happens. A door opens. A light comes on. A peace floods into the space where the bitterness used to live. And you begin to heal in ways you never thought possible. There is someone in your life right now that you need to forgive. You know exactly who I am talking about. Maybe it is a parent who hurt you when you were young. Maybe it is a spouse or an ex, partner who broke your heart. Maybe it is a friend who betrayed you. Maybe it is someone at work who treated you unfairly. Maybe, and this is the one we often forget, maybe it is yourself. You have been carrying shame about your past mistakes for so long that it has become a part of your identity. You have told yourself the story of your failures so many times that you have started to believe that is all you are. But that is not your story. That is not who you are. And today is the day that changes. Let us also talk about something that is quietly stealing the life from so many people, and most of them do not even realize it is happening. It is the spirit of comfort and distraction. You come home at the end of a long, exhausting day, and you are tired and you are stressed, and you just want to escape for a little while. So you pick up your phone, or you turn on the television, or you open a social media app, and before you know it, 2 hours have passed and you have not moved. You have not talked to your family. You have not prayed. You have not done anything that actually feeds your soul or moves you toward your purpose. You have just consumed, and now you feel even emptier than before. This is one of the greatest traps of our generation. We have more entertainment at our fingertips than any generation in history. And yet we have never been more lonely, more anxious, more purposeless, or more empty. I am not saying that rest is wrong. Rest is not only okay, it is necessary. But there is a massive difference between true rest that restores you and mindless distraction that numbs you. True rest fills you up. Mindless distraction just delays the emptiness. And the longer you stay in that cycle of distraction, the further you drift from the things that actually matter, from your purpose, from your relationships, from your own soul. Today is the day to break that cycle. Today is the day to put the phone down, to turn off the noise, and to sit quietly for a few minutes in the presence of the one who loves you most. You will be amazed at what you hear when you are finally still enough to listen. Prayer is one of the most powerful and most underused gifts that human beings have been given. It is not a religious ritual. It is not a formula you recite to check something off a list. Prayer is simply a conversation. It is you talking to the one who made you, and just as importantly, it is you being quiet enough to hear what he has to say back to you. Many people treat prayer like a vending machine. They put in a request. They expect an result does not come on their timeline. They decide that prayer does not work. But prayer is not a vending machine. Prayer is a relationship. And like any relationship, it requires time, consistency, honesty, and a willingness to listen, not just to speak. When you make prayer the first thing you do in the morning, instead of the last thing you do at night, when you are already half asleep, everything starts to change. When you bring your genuine feelings to God, not the polished version of yourself that you think he wants to hear, but the real, messy, confused, scared, hopeful version of you, that is when real communion happens. That is when breakthroughs come. That is when you start to hear guidance that is wiser than anything you could come up with on your own. The secret place of prayer is where battles are won long before they are ever fought in the physical world. If your life feels out of control right now, the most practical, most powerful thing you can do is not to work harder or worry more. It is to pray more, to trust more, to release the grip of control and let the one who holds the entire universe in his hands take care of the things that are too big for you to carry alone. And while we are talking about the things that are too heavy to carry alone, I want to speak directly to those of you who are carrying the weight of regret. There is perhaps no heavier burden than looking back at your past and seeing all the things you wish you had done differently. The years you feel like you wasted, the opportunities you let slip by, the relationships you damaged or lost, the version of yourself that you could have been by now, if only you had made different choices. Regret has a way of making the past feel like a prison, like the mistakes you made have permanently defined what is possible for you in the future. But that is a lie. That is one of the most dangerous and most paralyzing lies that you could ever believe about yourself. Here is the truth. No matter how much time you feel like you have wasted, no matter how many wrong turns you have taken, no matter how far you have strayed from where you thought you would be by now, it is not too late. It is never too late for a new beginning. The same God who can make the sun stand still in the sky, the same God who can part an entire sea to make a way for his people. That same God can take the broken, wasted, regret-filled pieces of your life and turn them into something beautiful. He is the God of the second chance, and the third chance, and the 100th chance. His mercies are new every single morning. Not every year, not every month, every single morning. That means that no matter what yesterday looked like, this morning is a brand new opportunity. This day is a fresh start. The past does not have to define your future. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your worst day or worst decision. You are a person who is deeply loved, who has been given another chance, And who has more potential in this moment than you can possibly see from where you are standing right now? So stop looking backward. Stop replaying the mistakes in your mind on an endless loop. Stop punishing yourself for things that are already forgiven and already in the past. Forward. Start asking, not what could have been, but what can still be. Start living from a place of grace and possibility, rather than a place of shame and regret. The best chapters of your story have not been written yet, and they will not write themselves. You have to show up every single day and put one foot in front of the other, even when it is hard, even when you are tired, even when you cannot see very far ahead. Just keep moving forward, one step at a time. We are committed to spreading hope, faith, and the message of Jesus Christ to people around the world. If you would like to help us continue this work, please visit PayPal, links below. Your kindness means more than words can express. Now I want to talk about something that is very close to my heart, and I believe it will be very close to yours too. I want to talk about your family. Sitting in your home with you right now. The people who eat at your table, who sleep under your roof, who share your life every single day. In the business and the exhaustion of modern life, it is so easy to take the people closest to us completely for granted. We give our best energy to our jobs, and our screens and our social lives. And then we come home and give the leftovers to the people who matter most. We are physically present in the same room, but emotionally somewhere else entirely. We answer texts during dinner. We scroll through our phones while our children are trying to talk to us. We fall asleep on the couch instead of having a real conversation with our spouse. And slowly, quietly, without anyone planning it or even noticing it right away, the distance grows. Do not let that happen. Please, do not let that happen. The people in your home right now are not guaranteed to be there forever. The time you have with your children, while they are small, is not coming back. The season you are in with your spouse, your parents, your siblings, this exact season will never exist again. And the things that seem so urgent right now, the emails, the deadlines, the social media notifications, none of those things will matter at all. When you are standing at the end of your life looking back at what you did with your time, what will matter is whether you were present, whether you listened, whether you chose the people over the screen, whether you said, "I love you and I am proud of you and I am sorry and I forgive you," while you still had the chance. Put your phone away tonight. Sit down with your family. Look at their faces. Ask them how they are really doing, not just the surface level fine, but really doing. Hold your children close. Tell them they are loved and they are valued and they are exactly who they are supposed to be. Pray with your family. Read something meaningful together. Create the kind of memories that will carry your children through the hard seasons of their lives, long after you are gone. Lead your home with love and with intention, and with the awareness that the time you have together is a gift, and gifts should never be taken for granted. If there is a broken relationship in your family right now, today is the day to begin mending it. I am not saying it will be easy. Broken things are never easy to repair, but the effort is worth it. The conversation is worth it. The humility it takes to say I was wrong, or I am sorry, or I want to make this right is worth it. Do not wait for the other person to go first. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect words. Just begin. Just take one small step toward healing today. Because every day that passes with that relationship still broken is a day that could have been spent building something beautiful instead. I also want to speak to those of you who are feeling incredibly lonely on this journey. Maybe you made a decision to live differently, to choose what is right over what is popular, to hold on to your values, even when the whole world seems to be moving in the opposite direction. And now you feel like you are standing alone in a crowd, like nobody around you truly understands what you believe or why you believe it. Your friends think you are strange. Your family does not understand your choices. Your coworkers make jokes about your faith. And there are moments when the loneliness of it all is almost unbearable. When you wonder if it is really worth it to keep standing firm when it costs you so much. I want you to hear this clearly. You are never alone. Not for even one single second. The one who made you is with you in every room you walk into, in every conversation you have, in every moment of rejection or misunderstanding. He sees you. He knows your name. He knows what it costs you to stand firm, and he is more proud of you than you can possibly know. The narrow road is not always crowded, but it leads to something that the wide and easy road can never offer. It leads to a life of real meaning, real peace, real joy, and real purpose. The temporary approval of people who do not share your values is not worth trading for the deep and lasting peace that comes from living true to who you really are and what you really believe. Keep going. Stay the course. The reward for faithfulness is greater than anything this world can offer. And if you are someone who feels like your faith has grown cold, if you used to feel a fire inside you that has now become just a flicker, or maybe not even that, I want to speak to you with great tenderness and great honesty. The lukewarm place is a dangerous place to stay, not because you are a bad person, but because you were made for so much more than half-heartedness. You were not designed to just exist, to just go through the motions, to just survive from weekend to weekend. You were designed to live with passion and purpose, and an awareness that every single day is full of meaning and opportunity. The fire that used to burn in you has not gone out permanently. It just needs to be stirred up again. It needs fresh fuel. It needs time and attention and the willingness to come back to the place where the fire first started. And that place is the secret place of prayer, the place of honest conversation with the one who knows you completely and loves you anyway. Come back to that place today. Not when things get better, not when your circumstances change, not when you feel more motivated or more inspired. Come back today in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the exhaustion, in the middle of the doubt. Bring all of it with you, the questions, the fears, the disappointments, the confusion. Bring it all and lay it down. And in the place where you lay it down, you will find something waiting for you that you cannot find anywhere else. You will find rest, real rest, the kind that restores your soul and fills you with the strength to keep going. Let us pause here for just a moment. If this message is speaking to your heart, if these words are reaching something deep inside you that you have been needing to hear, please take a second right now to subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. And leave a comment below telling us what part of this message touched you most. Your words encourage others who are watching, and they remind all of us that we are not alone in this journey. Share this video with someone who needs it today. You might not know exactly what they are going through, but something inside you is telling you that they need to hear this. Trust that feeling. Be the person who sends the message that changes someone's day, or maybe even their life. Now I want to talk about something that our generation is struggling with in a way that no generation before us ever has. I want to talk about fear. Specifically, I want to talk about the fear of speaking up. So many people are living in a quiet, invisible prison of timidity. They know what is right. They feel it deeply. They see things happening around them that break their hearts. They have something meaningful to say, but they stay silent because they are afraid. Afraid of being mocked. Afraid of being misunderstood. Afraid of losing relationships or opportunities. Afraid of standing out in a world that rewards conformity and punishes anyone who dares to be different. This fear is real, and it is understandable, and I am not dismissing it. But I am telling you that this fear, left unchecked, will steal your voice and your purpose and your impact. The world does not need more quiet bystanders. The world needs people who are willing to speak the truth with kindness, who are willing to stand up for what is right even when it costs them something, who are willing to be the person in the room who says the thing that needs to be said, even when nobody else will say it. You have that courage inside you. It may not feel like it right now. It may feel buried under years of playing it safe and keeping the peace at any cost. But it is there, and it is waiting to be awakened. The boldness you need does not come from your own strength. If it depended on your own strength, it would make sense to be afraid, because your own strength is limited, and it runs out. But the boldness that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are, the boldness that comes from a deep and settled confidence that you are loved and protected and guided by the one who holds all power, that boldness does not run out. That boldness grows the more you use it. Every time you choose to speak up when everything inside you wants to stay quiet. Every time you choose integrity when compromise would be so much easier. Every time you take a step of courage, even though your knees are shaking, that boldness gets stronger. And the voice that was once barely a whisper becomes something that people cannot ignore, not because of how loud it is, but because of how real it is. Be bold. Be honest. Be the person who shows up fully and speaks truly and loves fiercely. That person is exactly who you were made to be. And the world around you is waiting for you to step into that version of yourself. I also want to spend some time talking about hope. Real hope. Not the kind of wishful thinking that says I hope things get better somehow, but the kind of hope that is anchored to something that cannot be shaken. The kind of hope that looks at the darkest situation and says, this is not the end of the story. The kind of hope that gets up in the morning, even when it does not feel like it, and puts one foot in front of the other, because it knows that the one who made the morning is faithful, and his plans for you are good. We live in a world that is trying very hard to rob us of hope. The news is designed to make you feel afraid and overwhelmed. Social media is designed to make you feel inadequate and behind. The culture is constantly telling you that things are getting worse and that there is no reason to expect anything better. And if you let those voices drown out everything else, it is very easy to start living from a place of despair rather than a place of hope. But here is what I know to be true. Every single dark season in human history has eventually given way to light. Every winter eventually becomes spring. Every night eventually ends and the morning comes. This does not mean that hard things are not really hard, or that loss is not really loss, or that pain is not really pain. It means that hard things are not the final word. Loss is not the last chapter. Pain is not the permanent state. There is always more. There is always something good waiting on the other side of the hard thing you are going through right now. And the one who loves you most is actively working, even right now, even in this moment while you are watching this video, to bring beauty out of the ashes of whatever has been broken in your life. So choose hope, not because everything is perfect, but because the one who holds your life is perfect. Not because you can see the way forward clearly, but because the one who is guiding you can see infinitely further than you can. Hope is not naive. Hope is not pretending that things are fine when they are not. Hope is the deeply rooted conviction that no matter what is happening around you, the story is not over, and the God who started a good work in you is faithful to complete it. Now let me speak to something that is incredibly practical, but deeply spiritual at the same time. I want to talk about how you spend your time. Not in a way that makes you feel guilty or overwhelmed, but in a way that helps you see just how valuable each day truly is. Every morning when you wake up, you are given a fresh deposit of 24 hours. That is it. No more, no less. 24 hours that will never come back once they are spent. And the question that we rarely stop to ask ourselves is this: am I spending these hours on things that truly matter? Am I investing my time in ways that I will be grateful for when I look back at the end of my life? This does not mean every moment needs to be productive in the way the world defines productivity. Rest matters. Play matters. Laughter matters. Sitting with someone you love and doing absolutely nothing matters. But it does mean being intentional. It means choosing, as often as possible, to spend your time on things that feed your soul, that build your relationships, that help someone else, that move you toward your purpose, and that honor the one who gave you this life. It means saying no to some things so you can say a full and wholehearted yes to the things that matter most. Time is the one resource that cannot be earned back, borrowed, or replaced. Once a moment is gone, it is gone. And there is something both sobering and deeply motivating about that truth. It means that this moment, right now, is genuinely precious. It means that the conversation you are putting off, the apology you have been meaning to give, the dream you have been waiting to pursue, the prayer you have been meaning to pray, these things all have a time limit. Not to create fear, but to create urgency. The good kind of urgency. The kind that says, I am not going to wait anymore. I am going to do the important thing today, not someday. So what is the important thing for you today? What is the thing that you have been putting off? The person you have been meaning to call? The conversation you have been avoiding? The step of faith you have been afraid to take? Whatever it is, today is the day. Not because everything is perfectly set up and all your fears are gone, but because today is the day you have been given, and today is enough to begin. This ministry exists to bring encouragement, prayer, and God's truth to every heart that needs it. You can stand with us through PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. May God bless you abundantly for your love and support. Let me also speak to you about the armor that you need for the battles you are facing. Because make no mistake, there is a real battle happening. Not necessarily the kind you can see with your physical eyes, but a battle for your thoughts, your peace, your faith, and your future. Every day there are forces working to discourage you, to distract you, to make you doubt, to fill you with fear, to pull you away from your purpose and your peace. And you need to be equipped for that battle. The first and most important thing you need to know is that you are not fighting alone. The battle is real, but the one fighting for you is greater than anything that comes against you. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like the opposition is too much, remember that the power available to you is not limited to your own strength. The same power that can calm a storm, that can open blind eyes, that can bring life out of death, that same power is available to you. You do not have to fight from a place of weakness and fear. You fight from a place of victory that has already been secured. But you also need to be proactive. You need to guard your mind. Be very careful about what you allow into your thoughts on a daily basis. What you read, what you watch, what you listen to, what you talk about, who you spend the most time with. All of these things are shaping the way you think, and the way you think is shaping the way you live. If you fill your mind with fear and negativity and comparison and worthlessness, that is what your life will reflect. But if you fill your mind with truth and hope and gratitude and possibility, your life will begin to reflect that instead. This is not about positive thinking as some kind of magic formula. This is about understanding that your mind is a garden and you are responsible for what grows there. Pull out the weeds of doubt and fear and shame and replace them with seeds of truth and faith and love and purpose. Do this every single day, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. And over time, you will begin to see the fruit of that daily intentional work growing in every area of your life. I also want to take a moment to speak to those of you who have been waiting for a prayer to be answered, waiting for a situation to change, waiting for the breakthrough that you have been believing for a very long time. The waiting is hard. The waiting can feel like silence. The waiting can feel like nothing is happening, like your prayers are hitting the ceiling and bouncing back, like God has moved on and forgotten about your specific situation. I want to tell you with absolute certainty that none of that is true. Waiting is not the same as being abandoned. Silence is not the same as absence. And the fact that you cannot yet see the answer does not mean the answer is not coming. Some of the most beautiful things in life require a long season of waiting before they appear. A seed that is planted in the ground looks like nothing is happening for a very long time. But underground, in the dark, where nobody can see, incredible things are taking place. The roots are growing deep. The life is developing. The strength is being built that will one day hold up a tree. What looks like nothing is actually everything. And your season of waiting is the same. What God is doing in you during this time of waiting is just as important as what He will do through you. When the waiting is over, the character being formed, the faith being deepened, the patience being developed, the roots going down into solid ground, these things are not wasted. They are essential. They are the foundation upon which everything else will be built. So wait well. Wait with faith. Wait with expectation. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Keep showing up. Keep believing. Your breakthrough is coming. Your answered prayer is on its way. Hold on. And while you are holding on, I want to encourage you to cultivate gratitude. Not gratitude as a performance or a platitude, but real, genuine, daily gratitude for the things that are already good in your life right now. It is so easy, when we are going through hard times, to focus entirely on what is missing, what is broken, what is not working, what we do not yet have. And when that is all we can see, our whole life starts to feel like lack. But when we intentionally shift our attention to what is already present, to what is already good, to what we already have that millions of people in this world would consider a miracle, something shifts inside us. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces available to a human being. It changes your perspective. It changes your emotional state. It changes the lens through which you see everything else. And it opens you up to receive more. Because when you are genuinely grateful for what you have, you are in the posture of someone who recognizes that gifts come from somewhere and who is open and expectant for more to come. Start today. Right now, before this video is over, think of 3 things in your life that you are genuinely grateful for. Not big, complicated things. Simple things. A warm place to sleep. Food in your kitchen. A person in your life who loves you. The fact that you woke up this morning. These are not small things. These are gifts. And when you start seeing them as gifts, the whole world begins to look different. I want to circle back to something I touched on earlier, because it is so important, and I do not want to leave it without giving it the full attention it deserves. I want to talk about identity. Who you believe yourself to be is the single most important factor in determining how you live your life. If you believe you are unworthy, you will live like someone who is unworthy. If you believe you are forgotten, you will live like someone who is forgotten. If you believe your best days are behind you, you will live like someone whose best days are behind them. But if you know, deep in the core of who you are, that you are loved and valued, and chosen and purposeful, you will live like someone who knows those things. And the difference between those two ways of living is the difference between a life that barely survives and a life that truly and beautifully thrives. So let me tell you who you are. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your worst moment or your biggest mistake. You are not the labels that other people have put on you, the names you have been called, the limitations that have been spoken over you. You are not defined by what you do not have or what you have not yet achieved. You are a person created with extraordinary intentionality and love. You were not an accident. You were not a mistake. Every single detail of who you are was designed by someone who knew exactly what he was doing. The things you love, the way your mind works, the dreams that keep coming back to you, no matter how many times you try to push them away, these are not random. These are clues. They are pointing you towards something. They are telling you something about who you are and what you were made to do. And the one who made you is not finished with you yet. He is not looking at your life and shaking his head in disappointment. He is looking at your life the way a master artist looks at a painting that is still in progress, seeing not just what it is right now, but what it is becoming. Seeing the finished picture with perfect clarity, even when all you can see right now are brush strokes that do not seem to make any sense. Trust the artist. Trust the process. Trust that the one who started this work in you is not going to abandon it halfway through. You are his masterpiece. And masterpieces take time. As we move toward the end of this message, I want to speak one more time about the urgency of this moment. Not to create fear, but to create the beautiful, life-giving urgency that comes from truly understanding how precious and limited our time here is. We have talked about so many things today, about love, about purpose, about forgiveness, about prayer, about family, about hope, about identity. And all of it comes down to this one central truth. You are here right now, in this moment, with a life that is full of meaning and full of possibility. And the question that matters more than any other question is this: what will you do with it? Not someday, not when things are better, not when you feel more ready or more worthy or more inspired. Now, today, with this hour, because this hour is the only one you are guaranteed, and it is enough. It is more than enough to begin something beautiful. It is more than enough to take one step in the right direction. It is more than enough to make one phone call, to speak one kind word, to offer one genuine prayer, to make one brave choice. Every great life, every great story, every great transformation began with one small, ordinary moment when someone decided to begin. Let this be your moment. Let today be your beginning. Not the beginning of a perfect life, but the beginning of an intentional one. Not the beginning of a life without struggle, but the beginning of a life lived with purpose and with faith and with the deep, unshakable knowledge that you are loved and you are not alone and the best is still ahead of you. If these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of God's love, please consider supporting this ministry through PayPal links below. Together, we can continue sharing hope and God's word with countless souls around the world. My dear child, I want you to sit with me for a little while longer, because there is still so much that needs to be said. There is so much more that your heart needs to hear before this day is over. You have come this far. And that itself tells me something very important about you. It tells me that there is something alive inside you. Something that is hungry for more than what the ordinary world offers. Something that recognizes there is a deeper reality beneath the surface of your everyday life. And that something is exactly right. There is more. There is always more. And today, I want to take you deeper into that more than you have ever gone before. I want to begin this part of our conversation by talking about something that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. I want to talk about the truth. Not truth as a concept or a philosophy, but truth as a daily lived experience. Because one of the most painful things about modern life is that we have become incredibly skilled at lying to ourselves. We tell ourselves we are fine when we are not. We tell ourselves it does not bother us when it absolutely does. We tell ourselves we will deal with it later, when we have no intention of dealing with it at all. We have built elaborate, comfortable systems of self-deception that allow us to keep functioning on the outside while quietly falling apart on the inside. And we have become so good at it that sometimes we do not even know we are doing it anymore. But truth has a way of finding us eventually. It always does. And when it comes, it does not come gently if we have spent a long time running from it. It tends to arrive in the form of a crisis, a breakdown, a relationship that finally collapses under the weight of all the things that were never said, a health scare that forces you to stop and pay attention to the life you have been neglecting. Truth has a way of demanding to be heard, one way or another, and makes something inside you come alive in a way that nothing else quite does. Are you living that life? Or are you living something smaller than that? Something quieter, something safer, something that pays the bills and keeps the peace?